Hello, welcome, Tim, to your Tough Teams interview.
Thank you,
Um,
Hannah.
Thank you. I want to start out just by getting a quick intro from you. So, if you could just give us your name, what you do at Tough, how long you've been here, where you live, anything good like that.
Sure. Well, I'm excited you and I get to chat because most of the time we talk is just about nerdy advertising stuff, and we finally get to have like a normal conversation. But yeah, my name is Tim Benson. I live in the LA area, just outside of Long Beach, and I have been with Tough for about 2 months now, and I'm a senior growth marketer here.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro. I my first question for you is I know that you grew up in Denver and we have a lot of people who live in Colorado at Tough. So I'm wondering how living in the LA area compares to where you're from.
Yeah, there's weirdly a lot of Colorado ties at Tough. There's, only a small handful of people, and it feels like half of them are either in Colorado or from there or something. Um, there's weird parallels here. Colorado is actually really sunny. I think people think of it as like this winter wonderland, but it's real. Denver, especially, is really just kind of a high altitude desert, and it gets cold. It snows there, but it's sunny more than it's not sunny by a long shot. So I think that's partly why I feel at home in Southern California, because the sunshine's really present here. But you definitely, I think I grew accustomed to just having mountains close by, like just having some sort of hilly landscape that you can see. And that's a kind of a thing about LA, as I think people picture this like tropical beachy thing. It's not. It's also very deserty, but it's also very mountainous as well. So I think there's like sort of a weird subconscious thing, like I need to be by like hilly landscapes at all times.
So do you have a preference? Do you like California better now that you're there?
Oh man, that's such a tough question. I have to think about who of my family members are going to watch this too, and who do I want to, make the most mad. I think there's a lot of things I really miss about Colorado, and I loved growing up there. I also remember being really eager to move and not have to shovel snow ever again in my life or scrape the windshield of my car, and things like that. So I think I'm where I'm supposed to be right now, but I do love getting back to Colorado whenever I can. Love getting there during the different seasons, getting there for the fall, seeing all the colors change, getting out there in the winter and hitting the slopes, all that good stuff.
Nice. I'm secretly hoping we have a Tough meetup in Colorado someday. I've never been. I think that would be
Yes,
fun.
yes, lead the
Yeah.
charge. I'll back you up on that.
Okay, great. Cool. So I want to talk about work things a little bit. I'm interested how you got into marketing.
Yeah, for me, it all started with college. I took a lot of advertising classes and started pretty basic, but then we got to like these senior capstones where they started talking about Google AdWords and like that. It sounds so funny to look back on that now, but this was like 2011, 2012. Like the concept of auctioning and buying a Google keyword just blew my mind. I thought like that was the future. Like we are living in the future now that we can do that. So that really piqued my interest. And I kind of started to realize like there was really a shift happening in terms of how you got people's attention, how you kind of met people with what they were doing, how they were spending their time with media. So that really piqued my interest. And then, got a job with an agency initially in sales, but started to learn more about the platform and just kind of started to really enjoy that dopamine rush of like putting together campaigns and seeing your campaigns collect data and being able to point to like sales or leads that you had generated. I think I was kind of hooked from there.
That's awesome. Did you find anything surprising when you got into marketing that maybe you weren't prepared for in college?
The funny thing I think about marketing, this happens, with small businesses. This happens at like Nike and Apple. no one has all the answers. Like, I think when you're in college, you kind of assume like there's a way to do things, and you learn how to do it, and you're good. You're good to go. But
Mhm.
it's so much messier than that. Every brand, big and small, is trying desperately to figure out what they're doing, how to connect with their customers, and a lot of companies and brands take big swings and fail miserably at it. So I think that was really surprising to me, was just how everyone's just trying to figure it out. Everyone's trying to
Mhm.
find what's that solution that's going to work for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I definitely had that realization too early into marketing, like, "Oh, we're just kind of, trying our best here."
No one knows what they're doing. We're
No
all
one
just
knows.
flying by the seat of our
Yeah,
pants.
yeah, we all know a little bit, and then we put
Right.
it together.
Right.
Um, so next question. This is a question I've been waiting for. So you weren't always in marketing. We found out when you started, I think via Two Truths and a Lie, is that you used to be a sports broadcaster. Can you tell us a little bit about your past life?
Yeah, yeah, sure. My alter ego on TV. No, I grew up just a huge, huge sports fan. I mean, I still am. I haven't outgrown that at all. But yeah, I was initially really interested in broadcasting, and that was kind of what I thought I would end up doing. And I did that for a while. It turns out there's just not as much money or as much glamour in that role as you might think there would be. So I tried it. It wasn't for me. Pivoted into marketing. But what's interesting is that there's kind of weird parallels between what I did then and what I do now. Like, when you're a broadcaster, when you're on TV for your 2-3 minute segment, whatever it is, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. And what really makes that happen is a day or a couple days worth of really grinding and making phone calls, setting up interviews, gathering all the information that you need. And I feel like working at a marketing agency is honestly kind of the same thing. Firsthand, you and I have talked about that today. A lot of the work you do is really behind the scenes and digging into the numbers, really doing a lot of like research, and really a lot of the heavy legwork is stuff that people don't see. And then you get on a meeting with a partner of
Mhm.
yours and walk through those numbers and really distill kind of what's important and figure out what's like the most pertinent pieces of information I need to get out there. So in a really weird way, I feel like being on TV helped me out for the role I have now, because it kind of helps you develop those muscles of, okay, I got to gather a ton of information, and then I have a very narrow window of time to get across a ton of information. How do I do that?
Yeah. I have to think part of it too is the presentation part of what we do and how we're literally on camera all day, like
Yeah.
lights, camera, action all day. So I wonder if you got some of that from being a reporter as well.
Yeah, maybe. I think probably some of that like discomfort of having to present, having to have all eyes on you got kind of inoculated by being on camera those years on TV. I would also hope that I'm a little bit different, because like your TV voice just sounds so cheesy and corny. Like, if you were to use your TV voice in like a real life conversation,
We
people
have to
would
hear
think you're
it.
crazy.
We have to hear an example.
Okay. So if I was to switch into my TV voice, Hannah, I'd talk a lot like this. But like, if you're doing that in a marketing agency call, no one wants to hear that. Like, no one wants to
It's a little
feel like they're
scary.
talking. Yeah, like it's just not going to work. So I would hope that some of my habits have changed. I'm a little
Yeah.
bit more natural sounding on those calls. Maybe
Mhm.
not. Maybe I need to take a look in the mirror. But that's that's one thing I would hope has actually I've gotten rid of.
Yeah. No, I think you're good on that front because that was a little shocking when you switched over. Okay, switching gears a little bit to something more serious, which is pizza toppings.
Yes,
You have identified yourself as someone who may like pizza a little bit too much. And I know that you have some strong
guilty.
opinions on toppings and generally how to consume pizza. So I'm wondering if you can give some recommendations for our audience.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. This is the most important question we're going to cover
Yeah.
in this whole thing. My go-to is jalapeno and pepperoni. Not gonna apologize for it. That's delicious and my go-to. Um, if you are scared of trying like barbecue chicken, people are weirdly like, no, that's not how pizza is supposed to taste.
Mm,
Like, don't be scared. You got to dive right in and go for it.
hmm.
Buffalo chicken, very adjacent to that.
Yep.
If you're feeling really exotic and you want to try something different, I feel like there's a lot of like fusiony pizzas out there right now that are worth trying. Like try
Mm,
chicken tikka masala pizza. Try like
mm.
a nacho pizza, or try like a chicken mole pizza. Just go for it, you know?
Yeah.
Just try it out. I would say another one, like if I'm going to like a nice pizza place, I'm looking for an amatriciana pizza, which is a sauce with like some bacon in it and some like roasted garlic and pepper flakes. It's really delicious. So
Yum.
I'm gonna have to cap it there because I could go on
Okay.
for like another full segment on that, and
Okay.
I want to be mindful of our time.
Gotcha. Episode 2, maybe.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing you're not a person that dips your pizza in ranch.
not really. I'm not above
No.
that, and I'm not judging if
Okay.
you do that, but that's not my
Gotcha.
typical
Thank God.
move. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so you're classy. We get it.
Mhm.
Um, okay. My next question for you. Now that we know you a little bit better, I
Yeah.
definitely know you a little bit better. I'm wondering how well you know yourself. I wanted to ask, if you had an autobiography, what would the title of your autobiography be?
You will like me better when I'm caffeinated. Kind of goes without saying, but I've been told
Okay.
by my wife and several close friends that I'm just not as great of a person before
Okay.
I've had coffee. So, I just want to be honest and vulnerable
Yeah.
with my autobiography title. Um, I also just like having kind of a jokey title in there because I just don't think of myself as a super serious person. I like
Hmm.
my relationships that involve a lot of humor, and so I would want to bring that in there. So let's go with that.
Okay. Do you have an idea for what the cover of your autobiography might look like?
Oh man. Probably me, having a really nice pizza. Let's go with that.
Not coffee?
No, I realize that doesn't really work. I'm gonna have to workshop that one.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah,
threw that one at you.
that'll be
Yeah.
the sequel. Is like, don't make me come up
Yeah.
with book titles until I've had extra coffee.
Gotcha. That's really niche.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. One question that's not on the list is your doppelganger. I've brought this up before.
You have. You
I'm
have.
very concerned about your doppelganger and who your perfect doppelganger is.
Okay, I don't have an opinion on this. I can only kind of typical growth marketing. I can only report the data that I've collected on
Mm,
this, Hannah.
classic.
I have gotten three really common ones. Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso. I
That's
know
my vote.
that's your
Yep.
pick. I know.
Yep.
Dax Shepard,
Mm,
host of the podcast, TV shows, that guy.
yeah.
And Jason Segel, How I Met Your Mother, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I've gotten those
Okay.
three more than anything.
Yeah.
I've also heard Kevin Costner before, which is no disrespect to him. That's just a little alarming because he's like 30 years older than me. So that's very
Yeah.
like, what do I need to be doing? Maybe that's like before I've had
Yeah.
coffee. People are like, okay, you give off Kevin
Yeah.
Costner
Maybe
vibes.
that should be the cover of your book. It's just Kevin Costner.
I like that. I like that a lot. Problem solved.
Perfect. I did in fact survey our friends at Tuff to
Hmm.
see who they thought your doppelganger was, and I had to fight a couple people to get them to agree with me with the Jason Sudeikis thing. But
Okay.
the other one we got was Ed Helms, also known as Andy from The
Oh,
Office.
okay. I've never heard that one. Interesting.
Okay. Okay. Just so you know. Um,
I was
Okay.
unaware of this survey too. Like, great work doing this like
Yeah.
covert information gathering.
Thank you very much. I take my interview seriously. Okay, last question. So you've been at Tuff for about 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have been brought up to speed very quickly, notably onboarded very fast here, and we love it. So I want to know, for anyone that is joining the Tuff team, what would your advice be?
I would say two things. Number one is you've got to lean on the people around you. The other people at Tuff are incredibly smart. They're incredibly good at what they do. And I do not think you should hesitate for a second to lean on their expertise and, really harness the wisdom and experience that they carry on accounts. The other thing I would say is that don't be afraid to try things a little bit differently. Like we just kind of talked about, no one has all the answers. I think, there is no kind of one size fits all solution or report or process that's going to cover every single scenario. So it's really important to stay flexible and really, adapt to your circumstances and not get so entrenched in like, this is the way I did it last week, so it has to be done this way. I think those are the two things I would want to pass down to anyone starting out with us.
Awesome. Perfect. I agree with both of those. Well, Tim, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. We are so happy to have you on the team. I love working with you. And I'm sure we have a couple more meetings after this. So,
yeah, we probably do. No, thank you,
talk to you
Hannah. The pleasure's
soon.
all mine. I'm thrilled to be here. And this was fun. It was good getting to talk to you about something other than impression counts and reporting and stuff.
Yeah, amen. All right, Tim, thank you.
Yep.
See ya.